But no, she's just gonna fly all the way to the fucking wherever the fuck. With the old Shimenawa over her shoulders, we reached the base to find Yorihime already there. How'd it go?
薬を飲んで安静にしていれば、じきに良くなるだろうとおっしゃっていました。
Look, here's what I'm gonna say. The reason why I kept it lighthearted is because I knew she wasn't going to die. That's not that kind of arrogance, you know? If it was Master Magistrate, I would be a bit more worried. If it was... I was gonna say 9-9, but I haven't really played that much 9-9 to make the judgment that would be something to worry about. Okay, good. Yorihime turned to face the villagers and bowed her head deeply.
驚かせてしまって申し訳ありません。私は実は
Yorihime revealed her identity and also spoke on why she was concerned for Mount Konabi. Well, that's kind of shifty. You should have told us from the start. I don't think that would have been a good idea. This is how she put it, if I remember correctly. Oh, right, Yorihime. So you didn't reveal that you're a goddess. I mentioned that she had a chance to say it when talking to Kanamatsu. I thought it might clear things up clear things up a bit if you did.
それはそうかもしれません。ただ、それも良くないような気がして。
Unwise.
女神と人間の間である種の断絶があるのは、その理由は期待に応えることができないからなのです。
Wishes.
神頼みという言葉もありますからね。けれど、女神など無力なものです。
I don't know. I don't think you can call yourself powerless after you blew a hole through your house. Blew a hole through your wall. I don't think I'm saying it correctly. You blow up your house. Or at least one side of it. She had been saying that since she arrived.
人々が本当に望むこと。例えば幸せであるとか、そういったものは与えることができませんから。
Oh. And if the wrong people know that she's a goddess, then those people that pray to God will ultimately be disappointed, and it will lead to a diminishment in faith. Something of the sort. Hang on. Up until now, I couldn't quite grasp what she meant by being powerless. I thought she was being modest, or was referring to her shawl or something. Those might be valid reasons, but what she just said was the root of the matter.
言葉は悪いですが、餌で釣るようなことはしたくないんです。それに、期待に応えられないと知ったとき。
Don't worry, Yorihime. I already explained it. Twice. This is a flashback.
人々の気持ちは、ますます離れていってしまうでしょうから。
I was less articulate last time, but still. Well, it makes no difference. No, I just mean, it makes no difference who you are. The result was the same. Right. In the end, we were all motivated by your passion and enthusiasm. And that's all that really matters. Right. He's spot on, Yorihime. Even if his voice makes my throat sore and itchy, I managed to easily vocalize the thought I was struggling with earlier. It's not like you used some hocus pocus, the power that the goddesses hold. We just did what anyone would, provided they have the determination. Hocus pocus, huh? Now that you mention it, I said something similar when we decided to go through with this. I thought we were a weird pair at first, but you have a strange power far beyond your years. He was right. But we never used any kind of power. It was only determination. There's not Undertale. And Yorihime took the lead on all of this. In all of this. I took a good look at my wife's face. I felt a sense of pride billow within me. So, yeah. Let's continue helping them. She wiped underneath her eyes with her finger and nodded with determination. What the? Wait, you two are planning on bailing out after this? Maybe a little. No, sorry. We need you two here forever and ever.
Hi.
Yes. Wait, okay. She said yes. But hi can also mean okay. In the localization aspect, you know. But then usually second line would be Yuta. I don't remember. It wasn't a flawless victory, but everything worked out. One less old granny in this world. I mean, she'll be fine. Being back on our gently swaying, empty as usual bus let us take a big sigh of relief. Kanematsu was saying as much before, but you're really amazing, Yorihime. You move people to action with your passion. That was something she couldn't even do with her goddess powers. In that sense, goddesses were essentially powerless.
私一人でしたわけではありませんよ。あなたがいてくれたから。
Well, I just hope I helped out some.
それにしてもちょっと疲れてしまいました。普段は空を飛ぶこともないので。
So flying required a good deal of energy. Her eyelids twitched, struggling to stay open. You can sleep if you want, you know. Either way, this is the magical sleeping bus.
でも外で居眠りするわけには。
I'm the only one here.
それもそうですね。
Will we finally get to see sleeping Yorihime?
では失礼して。
Yorihime's head seemed to drift toward the comfort of my shoulder.
こうしているとすぐに寝入ってしまいそうです。
It's a magical bus.
ゆうたさんのおかげですよ。
But not a magic school bus, okay? Don't confuse the two. And after just a few moments of silence, I heard Yorihime's gentle rhythmic breathing. Our roles have been reversed. I looked down at her beautiful sleeping face. Time drifted on, and not for a second did I feel bored. (9:24)
そう、無事に再建されたの、よかったわね。はい。
We told everyone how things played out. They were happy for us.
こちらに来たことの大きな目的は、これで果たすことができました。
Also, I don't know what I'm talking about. I was thinking of, Yorihime and Yuta would be in the same year next year because Yorihime would be in the third year. But no, she's going to be graduating, which means that she'll be first year university technically. So then next year, after Yuta graduates, he would also be first year university. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't realize that until now.
あとは卒業まで学園生活を楽しむだけですね。
Because their graduation, they graduate in spring, which is, around the time the cherry blossoms start blooming.
そんな暇あるの？
あなただって進学するんでしょ？
ええ、ただ丸1年は先ですので。
He essentially has a gap year,
うん？
but I think that's only a thing. It's not exclusive to Australia. I just don't know if it's called the same thing in other countries. Where after you graduate from high school, there's you have a year. You take a year off schooling before going back to school, university. Yeah, it seemed like everyone wasn't aware of that. Yorihime started her explanation by saying she had forgotten to tell them.
卒業したら私は1年ほど故郷に戻ります。やることがあるので。
あら、そうだったの。寂しい。
Yeah, and the person the person they're staring at is gonna miss them even more. Yorihime nodded.
離れ離れになるということももちろんですが、卒業は一体どんな感じがするのでしょうか。
どんな感じって？
学校自体が初めてですから。
ああ、そっか。
For some reason, I felt like getting away from school right after the bell with Yorihime.
あ、ゆうたさん。
Also forgot the voices I gave the students. This is a rare treat. Your boyfriend came to get you. I nodded as an affirmation and greeting. I used to deny it when they joked and called me her boyfriend before you were actually her boyfriend. That's why you denied it. But I didn't need to do that now.
何か？
It was rare these days, and even Yorihime tilted her head. Well, yeah, because she usually goes to you. No, just, I mumbled meaninglessly, but she smiled and nodded.
わかりました。翔子さん、ともちゃん、エリさん、私、今日はこれで失礼します。
You've given them names, but they're still going to be called... Yep, they're still going to be called female student. Hmm? Well, your boyfriend's here to get you, after all. Her usual three friends casually waved goodbye to her. Sorry to cut it short.
いいえ。でも、どうしたんですか？
Just, you know, I wanted to go home with you. The reason I was feeling this way was definitely because of our conversation this morning. To sum it up, I was feeling a little sad and lonely, but I was too embarrassed to admit that. Are those three as lackadaisical as ever? I recalled their faces after seeing them a few times. They seemed like the girls she got along with best.
他の人に比べればそうでしょうか。でもやっぱり、前よりは毎日が忙しいみたいですよ。
Well, at least they're studying. That's a good thing. Once we were a few minutes away from school, we held hands. Her hand firmly in mine, I finally felt a little more at peace.
これからは一層のこと。一日一日を大切に感じてしまうと思います。私たちはずっと一緒だとしても、今のこの日常はこれっきりのものですものね。
Yeah. I looked out over the beach, shimmering with the sun's intense light. Holding hands, strolling back from school down this late summer road. After we graduated next year, these carefree school days would likely come to an end. But, you know, when you graduate high school, Yuta, you better get good fucking grades so that you can go to the same uni as she will. The burning sun made me squint.
あなたに出会って、こちらに来て、私はいろいろなことを知ることができました。 そして再来年戻ってきて、また新しい生活が始まります。私、今からそれが楽しみなんです。
Yeah, I couldn't let myself dwell on the things we would lose, like the constant sex. Never mind. A new tale awaited us. Knowing that, and embracing it with open arms, was the meaning of optimism. But
けど
I have to pass my tests first. You need to pass your test with good grades first. And that optimism immediately crumbled.
勉強頑張ってください。としか言いようがないですね。
Yeah, see? Even Yorihime knows that you're shit. So if you don't improve your studies, not just stay on top of them, surpass, do better, you know? So then you can go to the same uni as her. Yeah, obviously. But I don't know if I have it in me.
あとは、霊言新たかな神社仏閣で神頼みとか。
I think he would rather submit to the mercy of the goddess in front of him. Will that really work?
聞かないんですね、これが。
I knew it. Obviously, it wouldn't work. Once we were home, before even bothering to change, I embraced her passionately. See, they need to have another hate scene before Yorihime goes, so that when she comes back, they will have a hate scene after the credits, because she'll leave, and then the credits will roll, and that's when the year time skip happens, and then, yeah, I'm predicting the obvious, but shut up. I usually wasn't anxious for the sun to set, but I wanted her badly here and now. Well, it's not like... Hang on a minute. It's not like she's going tomorrow. She's leaving in spring, which is...
待ってください。
And Yorihime pushed me back gently.
先に汗を流しませんと。
Rinse off.
だってまだ暑いですから。
That makes it better. I mean, now that she mentions it, I could smell the sweat on her. But I didn't hate it. In fact, it kind of got my engine going faster. But if I told her that, she might be grossed out. This is what I mean. Yuta, how are you still so fucking dense? I can guarantee you, she has read multiple books where smell this like where the characters in the fucking romance books she reads have been turned on by another character's sweat. Why would she? Tell her honestly, tell her take a shower. Obviously, there's only one option here, and hopefully the guide will tell me that. Yes, I will tell her honestly. I actually like when you smell like this.
ダメです。
She squirmed in embarrassment and pushed herself away. Okay, sure. So you'll take a bath first? Come on, man. Have a little fucking give. At least... Well, then I'll join you. I guess it's better that way. She blushed instantly from the neck upward.
一緒に
Yeah, no good. I then remembered I had tried to get her to agree to it before. Well, it should be different now. But at that time, she said the bath was too bright and refused me outright. The bath was too bright. Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense.
でも、お風呂場は明るいですし。
Well, so is this room. Look, all I'm saying is that the excuse is kind of thrown out the window if you just Use Utah's. That's all I'm gonna say.
そうでした。
And they don't have they have no other excuse because Yuta's parents aren't home. Yorihime generally didn't like making love when it was light, so it became normal to wait until the evening, even though it was still light out, even during the evening, because there would be lights in her room. I really thought it was a crying shame, though. I squeezed her tight with both arms around her.
体を見られるのは恥ずかしくて。
Let me just... The second H scene. Bro. You know what? Whatever, never mind. But I'd love to see it. I really do.
そうですか？
You know what? Maybe they're both dense. I don't know why I'm questioning it. They're both dense. Obviously, they both are. Not like it's not like they've seen each other in their swimsuits every fucking day of the summer. It wasn't every day of the summer, so technically I'm right in that. But oh, that was a good reaction. I nodded repeatedly to drive the point home. Well, of course. You have an incredible body. We always do it in the dark. I will refer you to H Scene 2, where they do it on a fucking island in the middle of the day. In broad fucking daylight. My brother in Christ. You've already seen it. Never mind. It's unfortunate that I can't see you clearly.
わかりました。
So we can. Woohoo! Shut up. I shamelessly leapt into the air.
でも、汗は流したくて。
Yeah, let's get in that bath. I yanked her arm enthusiastically before she changed her mind. I rinsed off quickly, then noticed a small bottle that looked somewhat conspicuous. And what's this? It wasn't shampoo or conditioner, but, well, once again, I will refer you back to HC number 2, where she talks about lotion. So, it's probably lotion. Or it's soap, because he didn't bring up soap for some reason, even though bottled soap is very much a thing in Japan.
前にゆりちゃんのお母様がアドバイスをくれたときに一緒に。
If I recalled correctly, that advice was some pretty juicy stuff. And after that, she gave me a paizuri. I'm just gonna say paizuri. At the beach. That was excellent. I was immediately intrigued, hearing that this little bottle came along with that advice. That's gonna be a big sensor, as in the whole screen except the text box. Can I see it?
どうぞ。
I checked the label and figured out it was some kind of lube. No shit. Lube. Like lubrication.
せっかくですから使ってみましょうか。
Oops. It looked like Yorihime was turned on as well. I wouldn't dream of refusing. For starters, she delicately coated her skin with the oily lube. And then 10-5. Fucking Christ. October, bro. One day, when the temperature was starting to cool down, old lady Hamada invited us down to the shopping district. She did so not because she lived nearby, but because that's where her regular bar was. Is it really okay for you to be drinking with your heart condition? Alcohol makes your blood thinner. It's actually good for you. That's not... No, that's not good for you. Seriously? Hamada turned to face Yorihime. I haven't thanked you properly for that day. Honestly, thank you.
どういたしまして。
Everything was all foggy and hazy then, so I don't remember for sure. But I heard from the others. And I wasn't surprised. You're no normal girl, Yori. Yeah, you're carrying around a fucking piece of cloth all around you the whole time. No, you would not be considered normal if you did that. Well, I had felt it as much since our first meeting. Did you really? I mean, just look at her beauty. I don't think that's relevant. No, it's the shawl. It's the shawl. That's why no one can see her as normal. But really, you never come across girls like this. And I don't just mean her appearance. Well, you got me there, because she's an anime girl. This level of perfection doesn't exist in real life. You are hiding your true identity, meaning you will never use your powers. That is also becoming of a goddess in a way. Hamada murmured in an appreciation. Just your mere presence is enough to cheer up those around you.
私、これまでは女神として隣人愛といったようなものを心がけてきました。でも再来年には私こちらの人になるので。
She explained exactly what she meant. I see. But I doubt it'll be much different. Your character or personality won't change much, right? Well, yeah, especially since this is since she'll come back during the epilogue.
それは。
Well then, yeah. After you're back, I doubt people will treat you any differently. Now then, let's have today be a celebration. I'm buying. You're buying what? You're not buying alcohol for them. You're definitely not buying alcohol for them. Huh? What? She pointed behind her back. I saw her sign that red night lure. I can't drink alcohol yet. It's fine, it's fine. They have oolong highballs too. That's alcohol. That's what I'm saying. That's alcohol, isn't it? Oh, oops. I meant oolong tea. There you go. Sheesh. Well, it won't kill you to join this old lady for a little bit. Didn't you say you were the Madonna of this place? Your memory's razor sharp, and despite the way you look. Guess we'll tag along. I glanced at Yorihime and she nodded.
では、せっかくですからごちそうになります。
Please, I don't... Just let this scene be the last time we hear I have to use old lady voice. Now you're talking. The bar had a relaxed, homey atmosphere, and the food was pretty good. It was a fun time. It was Sunday tomorrow, so we ended up loitering until after midnight with her. Wait.
美味しかったので、ちょっと食べ過ぎてしまいました。
No, it is we. Me too. We walked with our arms locked at the elbows. It was quite cold when the sun was down now.
さっき浜田さんに言われて、私思ったのですが。せめて卒業までは自分にできることをしよう。そんな風に思いました。
What do you mean?
受験や卒業を控えて皆さんも次第にピリピリしてきたようです。そんな気持ちを多少なりともほぐせたらと。
I see. Yorihime was indeed perfect for the job.
無力な女神にはその程度のことしかできませんからね。
But that's perfect. That's perfect. If you can take away some of the pressure, some of the pressure, some people might do better at do better on their tests. On the tests. Well, you've got a long way to go before then. A few months, even. In the days to come, we weren't inseparable at school, but rather spent time with our respective friends. Even if we didn't see one another at school much, the rumors still reached me. There were even more people gathering around Yorihime to consult with her than before. We always went home together, though.
冬の海って寒々しいものなんですね。
She held her hair against the chilly wind and gazed at the white caps covering the ocean.
夏、水着になって泳いだのがまるで嘘のようです。
Totally. I looked out over the cold sea and had the same realization. It's surprising. I thought so before as well.
はい。
No, just this ocean. I walked by it every day, but had never looked at it, so...
そうなんですか?
I guess. It's because I didn't have anyone to enjoy it with. She thought for a moment, then giggled when she understood.
ユウタさんも見聞が広がったということなのですね。
That's it. The fuck was that transition? Yorihime cupped her hands and breathed into them. Her breath was steaming.
今日は大寒に当たるんですよね。さすがに冷えます。
Daikon?
二十四節気の一つです。一年を24等分した表現で、立春もその一つですね。
Yeah, no shit. It's October there, so it would still be autumn or fall if you're American. Oh, okay. So it's getting closer to winter.
それによると、大寒は一番冷える頃だそうです。
We need to be careful not to get sick, especially if you're taking exams.
私もそれが気になって、うがい手洗いをクラスで励行したりしています。
You're like an elementary school teacher. I don't think I should. I don't trust. You know what? Never mind. I was gonna say something about how perverted she is, and how I don't think she should be an elementary school teacher, but like, that's only because we know the real Yorihime, right? But I bet everyone did. Everyone did it when she suggested it. When she suggested it, I just had a feeling.
今週の学年末試験が終わったら、3年生は基本的にそれで終わりです。
What, really? You mean school?
ええ、知りませんでした？
I shook my head, pondering. But what do you mean over? There was still over a month left in the term after that.
2月からは週に1回の登校日があるだけになります。
Oh, I see. Thinking about it, once the test concluded in January, there wasn't much more to do at school. But I never gave it much thought before.
話によると、その登校日も休んでしまう場合が多いそうです。 が、うちのクラスではみんなで出ようという話になりました。
In your class? She nodded.
せっかくだからと。
Yeah, huh? I knew that Yorihime heavily influenced such a collective decision.
お友達と顔を合わせれば気持ちのリフレッシュにもなります。ぜひ出席した方がいいと思いますね。
Yeah. Once February arrived, Yorihime's prediction came true. The school felt much more empty. Hey. What? What? Was it also like this last year? What do you mean? You could have looked up from his AKG magazine, or whatever he was looking at for a second. I mean, did the third years not come in February? Well, duh. It's not like this. It's not like this is the first time. It's not like this is the first time this has happened. I nodded. He was right about that. Well, you don't really pay attention to the other grades. You were like that last year. You were like that last year too. Yeah, I guess. I virtually paid no attention, so I had no idea how the third years spent their final semester. It ended up being the same as the ocean I grew up in. I grew up next to. But this year you're concerned. It makes sense. It's a sudden question, but when will you look at me with the eyes you look at her with? I was gonna say that Ando was finally normal because of the it's a sudden question, and then he can never be normal. Fuck you. To the writers, not to Ando. Wait, also to Ando. And that's insanely sudden. I feel like I've been a broken record the whole year, though. Oh, was that so? I had no idea. At least that's a story I'd stick to. I heard Yorihime's going home for a year. Yeah. That news had spread through school as well.
次の同窓会できっと再会しましょうと皆さんとお約束しました。
Nice flashback. She didn't seem the least bit lonely as she told me. On the contrary, she wore her usual graceful smile. That didn't need to be a flashback. You're gonna be lonely, huh? I never expected to hear those words from you. That's rude, man. I can pick up on subtle emotions. I've been training with Aragay for ages. You are not the guy from... You're not... Kama? I think that's his name, from the world God only knows. What kind of training is that? You'll never be lonely. I'm here for you always. How should I deal with this guy from here on out? A restraining order. That would be the best outcome. This guy. I don't know. You're on your own. Some friends these guys were. Guess I couldn't be one to complain. But while we had this pointless exchange, it occurred to me, even my time with these losers would dwindle after graduation. Yeah, that's not really a worry anymore because of Discord and online platforms like that. It was February 26th, the final day of school for the graduating third years. On the days they came to school, it was mostly just self-study. Also consulting about things with teachers and chatting with friends. It was obvious to see why people wouldn't bother coming. even if it was only one day. I waited in front of the classroom and Yorihime came to meet me as usual.
だんだん日が長くなってきましたね。前はこの時間、窓の外は暗かったですが。
Yeah, the temperature was still low, but spring was clearly just over the horizon. Yeah, I was gonna say it's spring for me because it's March, but I'm Australian, so it's autumn. It's spring for them in Japan, which also meant our farewell would be here soon.
今日は卒業式の予行演習をしたんです。
Oh, I guess you have to do that.
ですので今日ばかりは3年生の会も賑やかだったようです。もっともこんな時間まで居残っているのは私たちくらいのようですが。
Yorihime added a sneaky smirk to the end of her sentence.
やっぱりあくまで予行だからでしょうか。皆さん平静と変わりのない様子でした。本番の時どうなるのか私は知りませんけれど。
She had mentioned that this was her first time ever coming to school. What was last year like? It had only been a year, but it was already a distant memory. I hardly even remembered attending.
私はどうしたらいいのかしら。
Huh?
女神としてどう振る舞ったらいいのかと。
I didn't really know what she was getting at, but it seemed like she was having some sort of internal conflict, so I didn't butt in with any questions. Hey.
はい。
It had frightened me to bring it up, but I had put it off. But I had to check. What day are you leaving? Like for sure.
卒業式の日です。
I see. I spoke a bit sullenly, even though I had prepared myself to be stronger.
それで式が終わったらすぐにおいとまします。
Prepped myself. Oh, really? And now my tone was inquisitive.
戻るのが遅れればそれだけ帰ってくるのが遅れることになるわけですから。私少しでも早くあなたのもとに嫁ぎたいんです。
Once she said that, she tightened her grip on my hand.
だからね。
Yeah.
ねえ、ゆうたさん。
As we walked, she leaned in close to my ear.
今日は私この後ゆうたさんのお部屋にお邪魔したい気分なんです。
Oh, hang on a minute. I thought we were gonna leave this to the end of the game, not the end of the route, not the fucking, not before she leaves.
いいでしょうか。
I mean, I know it's gonna be a wholesome scene because they're essentially gonna officially get married at the end, but like, you know, how else are you gonna consummate the marriage? Anytime. She squeezed my hand lovingly yet again. I felt just a tiny flash of heat in her palm. We slipped through the door, already lip-locked, and basically threw our bags onto my floor. Neither of us had any intention to stop kissing, even while undressing. My sense had immediately swelled with blood, bulging into my pants. Oh. I think this is the first time they've actually shown the sprite take off the clothes. Let me do this. Yeah, even now I can hide the I can lower the transparency and still don't have to censor until I snapped her bra off her tits and they plop down with a drool-induced bounce.
あの、
Drool-induced.
今日は私の方からしてあげたくて。
Drool-inducing bounce. But will you? She nodded and knelt down right away.
失礼しますね。
She was polite both in words and action as she unzipped my pants. Three, 1. Now how are you gonna have the last H scene in this game was shorter than the first and second. Like how are you gonna front load the H scenes when the last one is meant to be so climactic? Pun intended, because he comes 4 times. I couldn't sleep all night. It was the day of the graduation ceremony.
あら、珍しいわね、早起きで。
It's the graduation ceremony today.
ああ。ゆうた、なんか目が赤いわよ。
Yeah.
顔もしょぼくれてる。よりちゃんに振られたのか。
Technically, for a whole year, I'm just sleepy.
卒業式であくびなんかしないようにしなさいよ。
That was meant to be you. Hang on, I can. There you go. I know.
しかし、これでしばらくはよりちゃんともお別れか。お隣の白羽さんに聞いたが、もう町でも人気者だそうだな。
Yeah, she knows basically everyone in the shopping area.
なかなかそんなのないものね。
俺はよく知らんが、海の家やってるおばあちゃんが顔が広いそうで、その人が褒めちぎってるらしい。それからお前のことも。
あら。
Honestly, though, it is criminal that Hamada, who I guess you can't really say plays a prominent role, but has a big presence in Yorihime's route. She doesn't have a fucking sprite. None of the characters from why am I blanking on the name? From the town, from the village, don't have a fucking sprite. The only character from I can't. It's Shirahase, but that's because it's Yuna's dad, who is definitely going to play a more prominent role in her route. So I can't really call him a route-specific character since he shows up in more than just Yuna's route. And I guess you could say the same about Lucy's dad, because he also shows up in the common route, and Julie's mom. Yeah.
今時珍しいできたイカメンとのことだが、イケメンの間違いか。
Good as a Squid Game.
イケメンねえ。
Don't look at me like that.
俺に似たんだな。
Yeah. Everyone gathered in front of the house, as we had done so many times.
おはようございます。
Morning. I looked carefully, but she wore the same cheerful expression as usual.
じゃあ行きましょうか。
在校生の終業式はあとまだ2週間先だわ。卒業生は一足先に送り出されるわけか。
なんだかあっという間だったね。1年も。
そうね。
Fun times. They fly, yeah. But a whole year of waiting anxiously certainly wouldn't fly by.
ユータが何を言いたいかはわかるけどね。
何を言いたいの？
あなた本当に鈍いわね。
Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. What is she doing?
これをあげるです。
What the heck is this?
ニガヨモギの葉っぱ、沼地のあぶく、マムシの脱皮した皮、それから。
No, I don't mean the materials. Well, hearing that makes me want to give it back. But what's this do?
強力な眠り薬です。1年間ぐっすりだから、体感的にはあっという間。
Yeah, you can have this back.
ユータさん、私との約束、忘れたんですか？
Luna casually still being the goat.
1には勉強、それからアルバイト。きっと暇な時間なんてないと思いますよ。
Yeah.
勉強はわかるけど、バイトって？婚礼の衣装です。戻ってきたらすぐに祝言という手はずですので。そっか。じゃあ頑張らないとね。
Yep.
看板が立ってるです。
Luna, curious as ever, dashed off to investigate.
卒業式ともなると、やっぱり少し雰囲気が違うのですね。
There were loads of parents and guardians around. It had a different vibe than usual. And above all else, the looks on students' faces were different. The graduating students had springs in their steps, jumping in excitement, and some were already in tears. The underclassmen had it easy just watching, but the graduates...
では行きましょう。
We went to our classroom first, since we had some time before the start.
頼姫は結構あっさりしているのね。あるいはこれからの1年のことで頭がいっぱいなのかしら。
でもまだ式は始まっていないからね。
まあね。
The time came for us to head to the gymnasium. So lame. I heard varying reactions. I was peeved at their rudeness, but I was probably the same way last year. So I didn't have the moral high ground or anything. The ceremony ended without a hitch. People flooded out of the gymnasium, crowding the field. The ones slowly dispersing were most likely underclassmen. But those with graduation certificates remained in the area. A crowd had also formed around Yorihime.
ユータは頼姫に付き合ってしばらく残るのでしょ？
Yeah.
なら私たちはもう帰るわ。
Got it.
もう帰っちゃうの？
だって残っていたってしょうがないじゃない。
ごちそうとか。
出ないわよ、そんなの。
ふにゅ
じゃあね。
Bye bye.
待ってよ。じゃあ私もこれで。
I promised everyone that we would meet at the next class reunion. The next class reunion.
失礼します。さよならです。
I paced around lazily until all the underclassmen were gone, and it was only graduates. Soon enough, even that group thinned out after not much longer.
これから打ち上げがあるそうです。ゆうたさんもいかがですか？
No, I'll pass, thanks. Yorihime nodded.
皆さんの話では徹夜で遊ぶつもりのようです。ですが私は途中で抜け出して。
Yorihime turned to look at the classroom building.
またここに戻ってこようと思います。思い出深い場所ですからね。
I'll wait for you.
お願いします。部屋まで迎えに行きますから。
Okay.
ではこれで今から教室に行って黒板に寄せ書きを書くそうです。
Hey. I almost didn't, but I called out to her. You don't have to force yourself to leave, you know. Yorihime was as composed as ever. Maybe she wasn't going to miss her friends. That definitely wasn't true. I looked at the students still around. Some were crying, a mixture of sadness and joy.
私はまだ女神です。
ん？
笑う角には福来たると言います。笑顔は人の気持ちを明るくしてくれる。それで普段から笑顔を心がけていたということも事実です。
Yeah, like what you said to Hamada when we went to her bar. Which meant that Yorihime was consciously trying to uphold her usual attitude for the sake of others. In some way, that was a way of forcing herself, I thought. So what about when you're not a goddess anymore?
それはもちろん。
She trailed off and stared off into the distance.
再来年の同窓会では私きっと泣いてしまうと思います。
She bid me farewell and left for the classroom. The year after next, at the class reunion, it was like she was holding something back. I remembered something she said before. All of my efforts have been out of neighborly love, you could say. It sounded to me like she was repressing her emotions to some extent. Yorihime came to get me in the evening, and we returned towards school.
この服を着るのも今日で最後なんですよね。
She looked down at her clothes.
そう思うとなんだか少し不思議な感じがします。これまで休みの日を除いては毎日のように袖を通してきたわけですから。
Yeah, when you put it that way. Since we were returning to school, I'd put my own uniform back on as well. A day would come when it was no longer needed. It was hard to fathom at the moment. How was the party?
大いに盛り上がりましたよ。途中で帰るのが忍びなく引き止められもしたのですが、里帰りは今日ということは前もって伝えてありましたから。だから最後は分かってくれました。本当は式が終わったらすぐに行くつもりだったのですが、おまけの時間ですね。
What? It's already closed. Well, whatever. We can still get in.
最後の最後で拘束を破ってしまうことになりました。
The field that was bustling after the ceremony was now empty. It was now an empty wasteland. with me at her side, Yorihime wandered all around the school grounds. She spoke few words, as if she was taking this final chance to sear these places into in her memory.
では最後に教室に。
Okay.
打ち上げの時、黒板をよく見てほしいというようなことを言われたんです。
But you were already there, right?
ええ、だから何のことかよくわからなかったのですが、笑って教えてくれませんでした。
The classroom was empty too, of course. Whoa. So they write on the blackboard like this?
なんだかいいものですよね。こういうのって。
Yorihime scanned the blackboard with squinted eyes.
こ
Yeah,
の黒板一枚に3年間の思い出がぎゅっと詰まっているような、
I'm trying to scan
そんな気がします。
I'm trying to scan the blackboard with squinted eyes too. And it's all in English. Yeah. I approached the board and perused in detail. This was like a necessary ritual for graduating students, I guess. Whatever it was, I knew I wanted to do the same thing next year. What's this?
何か
I waved her over to me and pointed to a single spot on the board.
裏側も見て。
Check it carefully. Must have meant this, right? Was this here this afternoon?
どうでしょうか。ちょっと気がつきませんでしたが。
Well, guess we should check it out. I grasped the handle on the edge of the blackboard. This was the type that you could that you could slide up to reveal another board. Oh, I see. This blackboard was kind of in a weird spot, as if it was intentionally trying to cover the one behind. I quietly slid the board upward, and the rear board slid downward. Also, all in English. But at least here, you can see what is being written, what was written. It was amazing being in your class. We're definitely meeting again. I think I'm in love. Hang on a minute. Similar messages adorned the board. Each of the sentences were unique, but they all projected a single feeling. A tender affection for Yorihime. On the corner of the board, the date, February 28th, was written. That meant they actually gathered yesterday to do this. I don't think they had any other way of being able to do this. Yorihime would have been here if they did this today. Yorihime was speechless, as she looked back and forth between me and the board. Everyone, they all felt something. I was thinking that you didn't have to force yourself to do anything before. But your constant effort, I'm sure it made the class so much more enjoyable. Probably due to her attitude. This was the one class that came to school even during the last semester. Popularity alone could not provoke such results. It required incredible perseverance. And they all recognized that, and were driven to action. I think in the end, you've accomplished your duties wonderfully. This is proof right here. Erasing this would be such a shame, though. Her voice faltered as the woodworks began. I silently turned to her.
今日は本当は最後まで泣かないつもりだったんです。 最後まで笑顔でいようと。
You don't have to force yourself. She had only a brief period of time before she was no longer a goddess. I didn't see a problem in dragging it out a little.
私こちらに来てこの学校に通って友達ができて本当に
Yorihime, the others included, had never been to school before. For that reason, I had tried my best to give them space to do their own things and to adapt as students. My efforts were certainly not for naught. After all, if the girl that I loved was able to make the best of her student life, then that was enough to make me cry as well.
では私参ります。
She wiped her tears and announced her departure to me. I nodded. Flashbang, Jesus.
また来年。
I mean, I know this isn't the first time we've seen someone disappear right before our eyes, but like, the last time that happened, it was a ghost.
桜の咲く頃お会いしましょう。
That was a good ending. But there it is. Yorihime's route. Route-wise, it was miles, leagues better than Karen's route. Especially when it comes to the conflict. The romance, also better. Like, I have my gripes with how the hate scenes lasted too long. Especially the first one. I didn't need an hour and a half of hate scene. Especially for two fucking... especially for two fucking CGs. Just because there's slight variations in the two doesn't mean it's not two CGs. But outside of that, the rest of it was great. The romance was great. The story was great. The stakes weren't as high. Right? If we're rating it on stakes, it would be Karen's, Yorihime's, fuck you, don't show the panties, and Luna's, right? Because with Karen, it's like, okay, the stakes increase dramatically when you find out that the mask was fake. But outside of that, it pertained to the entire Tenko race, and it all came down to Karen learning how to do a dance, right? And she does the dance, and she doesn't fail at the dance. She just didn't have the correct mask, even though I thought the mask was meant to be more symbolic. So then she goes back and trains until she becomes powerful enough to do it with a different mask that's also the same Tenko looking mask. That, you know, because obviously they're not going to change the CG, but that was their excuse for her leaving for a year. Yorihime's route, it makes more sense for why she's leaving after a whole year. It was set up beforehand, unlike in Karen's route, that she had to leave for a whole year. But the reason she's leaving is not to become more powerful, to save her race. Save her race. It's not what Karen did technically. It's not like they were gonna die if they permanently turned into foxes, you know? It's just their communications with the humans would have been harder.
And you know, with Luna, it was kind of only on her, right? All of the things, nothing in her route pertained, none of the stakes in her route were relevant to anyone but Luna. And it didn't need to be, because Luna's route is still the best route. Even though it has the lowest stakes, technically. Right? But what we learned about Luna was the best part of the route. Yorihime, Karen, those two, you know, we didn't learn anything that new, other than some Tenko lore, and with Yorihime, that if she wants to stay, if she wants to marry Yuta, she has to become human, basically, right? But it was simple, right? There was a lot more plot, which I enjoyed. It all, none of it felt forced, like with the whole Tenko shit, because it was set up beforehand, as in at the start of the route. You don't need to set it up in the common route. That's not what I mean. With Karen, the whole conflict happens way too far into the route, right? That was my problem with her route. So it was all it was too condensed, essentially. Yorihime's route doesn't have that problem, and it benefits from it greatly, despite not having as high of a stakes. But I don't think the end of this route will really change the ranking, and I have not done the ranking yet. So before we get into, I have not changed the rankings yet. So before we get into the last part of her route, get out of 6th place, Yorihime, you're getting moved all the way up to 2nd. Listen, Karen was great, alright? But a bad route can affect the character. So moving everyone down one place. And this is the newest ranking, with Luna still at the top, Yorihime, Karen, Yuna, Lucy, Julie. There's not really much I can say. It was a good route. There wasn't much focus on the romance. Even after they confessed to each other, outside of hate scenes, it was still mostly focused on the plot. Which is why it was hard for me to rank her, right? Because most of my ranking was based on the romance side of things. Because I'm not ranking the route, right? Obviously. But yeah, the next year came soon. By some random twist of fate, I ended up in this class.
では座ってくださいよ。
Why is he here? The same instructor all my classmates had basically tagged along to. Actually, you know what? The first time around, it could have been a coincidence. The second time around, definitely Adrienne or some motherfucker was definitely pulling strings so that everyone in the third year from the second year in the same class as Yuta would end up in the same class in the third year, because of Lucy, Karen, and Julie, but mainly. Had I fallen into a wormhole, it was enough to make me have my doubts. But the blackboard behind Oishi brought me back to the present.
これは消すのがもったいないね。しかし消さないと授業ができない。ということで、牛尾くん、授業が始まる前に消しておいてくれるかな。
What a cruel twist of fate that he has to rub out the Yorihime love letter from the whole class, essentially. What, me?
いや、君が適任じゃないかと思ってね。
Also, we're getting a bit. Here's the thing: we're gonna get more Oishi in Julie's route, but I can guarantee that he knows a lot more than he lets on. Like, he knows all about this Monster Girls shit. I keep saying Monster Girls. They're not Monster Girls. They're magical. They're not magical girls. I don't know what you'd call them. Like the isekai heroines. Reverse isekai. Why?
だって君は宮子くんの言い名付けだから。
Like I said, he knows more than he lets on. I didn't expect him to actually say anything about it, but yeah, I could hear other students suddenly agreed with that logic. Okay, I'll do it.
では、今から始業式です。体育館へ移動しましょう。
Apparently, it's just accepted that. See, there's it's been a whole it's been a whole year since. I don't think it has. Wasn't it like they only came in halfway through the semester, the year or something? Whatever. It's been a whole year. They got used to hearing about how they're engaged, how Yuta's engaged with all of the girls, you know.
驚くほど顔ぶれが変わらないのね。
本当。でもよかった。ここまで変わらないのはきっと珍しいよね。3年生になった気がしないくらいだもんね。まるで教室だけが変わったみたい。
Also, by how lukewarm the reaction was for the engagement, that means that Yorihime definitely. Yorihime probably specifically talked a lot about how she's engaged with Yuta. I thought she only went as far as saying that they were dating, you know?
Looks like we're stuck together again. Yep.
It's a good thing I prayed 100 times to be together with Ushio.
You should use that pointless effort for something more constructive, you know?
Says the Erage guy. Don't call it pointless.
You're shouting.
Even his third years, they were exactly the same. Well, yeah, it's only been a year apart. It's only been a year, but there was something undeniably different than last year.
Huh? What the? You're leaving already?
Yep.
You left early yesterday too. What's up today?
I'm working, you see. I'm working. See ya. What about tomorrow? Oh, he's gone.
He's so much busier this year. That guy.
Yeah, he's saving up for a fucking wedding suit. It's weird to say wedding suit. It's usually wedding dress. He's saving up for a suit. You know?
Seeing one live with such intention can illuminate your shortcomings.
What should I... Tell me what I should do.
How about you study? I need to get on it too. What, seriously? Yeah, if I fail the exams, I won't be able to play my Arage so easily.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, looks like we all need to work then.
Well, wait for me. I looked around and then truly noticed that everyone just seemed way busier than last year. I felt like Yorihime's words from last year had finally sunk in. Yeah, but there's no Yorihime figure in your classroom like last year. Well, she wasn't in your classroom. In class 3A. And another part of her prediction has also come to pass. Time was passing by a lot faster than I thought it would.
This is really seriously the end. It all seemed to go so fast. Well, it always seemed to for me.
Sniffle. I can't see through the tears and snot.
You're a mess, man. Gross.
You all are really not good friends to... You're really not good friends for... You're really not good friends for a queer.
You've really kept up that... You've really kept up the gay thing the whole time.
I don't think it's a joke anymore, guys.
Well, I won't cry. I won't cry, but... It just kind of hurt. It does kind of hit you in the feels.
Yeah. A year earlier, we stood here as underclassmen. But now we were graduates. It seemed like I only blinked and here we are. Here we were. We all went to the classroom before our end of the year party.
This kind of lame stuff isn't my thing, you know.
Even while griping with it about it, Kendo still took a piece of chalk in his hand. There. Leaving my own message felt like I was leaving behind a legacy. It would definitely be erased by the time April came around, though. But my memory certainly wouldn't fade so easily.
あら珍しい。春休みでずっとぐうたらしていたのに、今朝は妙に早起きなのね。
Oh, it was a year. Damn. Yeah, they have spring break and summer break. Yeah, Yorihime's returning today.
そうなのか。連絡があったのか。
No, I just know. No, not exactly.
それでなんでわかるんだ。確か日付ははっきりしないと。
Well, not a specific date, but they technically did. I definitely know. Mom, call your friend before you go to work. I can't put this on myself. My mom's friend, an old lady who lived in the neighborhood, helped me put on my wedding clothes. Fuck off! It's not even Hamada this time, it's still an old lady! He's gonna sound exactly like Hamada. Oh goodness, you really bought a nice one! Yes, I may have overdone it. Well, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Listen, all I'm gonna say is, for guys, you wear one suit, that is the only suit you will ever wear. Doesn't matter if it's a wedding suit or it's your formal attire, that one suit is the one you will wear forever. You don't need you have no reason to buy any suit after. That's all I'm gonna say. For a wedding dress, obviously you're not gonna wear that everywhere you go. And because of that, the money I had saved working this year all vanished. Money was meant to be spent after all. True. It had been a year and a half since I rode this bus as well. It was like my own private bus as usual. Wait, he didn't go back in September? I didn't feel like snoozing in the slightest before I arrived in Kanabi. Yeah, Kanabi Ward, that's the name. Whoa.
Oh, what's with the getup? What's with that getup?
Oh, long time no see. Sorry, but I'll explain later. Or rather, you'll just know when you see.
Roger that.
We'll greet everyone properly afterwards. The river that flows downward, Kami Cross River. The Kami, or gods, cross this river. Oh, wow. It was a different world than last time I saw it, and I couldn't repress my gasp. The other end of the river was adorned in pink. It's very contrasted with all of the other trees in the background, covered in green. Wow, the color of the blossoms is almost scorching my eyes. I'm getting dizzy. Yeah, that's the godly presence, you know. The divine cherry blossoms. Oh. Up until just a moment ago, I swore there was no one there. But I noticed a large line of people walking toward me. The procession stopped just short of the bridge, and then a woman clad in stunning white robes stepped forth. She then turned around to those who accompanied her and bowed deeply. Her actions were imbued with such refined grace. It was understandable. She was essentially relinquishing her past life. By crossing the river, the group eventually turned around and returned the way they came. I watched until they were completely gone from sight.
Yuta-san. Tadaima.
Welcome home, Yorihime. There was so much to tell her, but I was so overcome with emotion, I couldn't utter a single word. Yorihime was speechless as well, her joyful eyes fixated on me. Oh, your shawl's gone. Yeah, she replaced it with a big hat. I immediately noticed that something's amiss, since she had never once parted ways with it.
ええ。もう私には必要のないものですから。
I see. She stiffened slightly and bowed her head deeply to me.
ふつつかものではありますが、これから末永くよろしくお願いします。
I feel the same way.
それと、堅苦しいご挨拶をもう一つだけ。これからは何かと苦労をおかけすることもあるかと思いますけれど、どうか末永く夫婦続けてくださいね。
I think I'm the one who'll be causing most of these. I'm the one who'll be causing most of those.
そうですか？
But I doubt life with you will have any hardships at all. You said that before.
あら、本当にそう言い切れるのですか？
Well, with the two of us, it's happiness doubled and sadness halved, right? That's math. That's what he learned. That's shit he learned in the third year. Yorihime, let's go.
Hi.
We slowly walked back across the bridge. This river was a line in time. Once we were across, something would end, and then a brand new life would begin. Not referring to pregnancy, but she becoming human is the new life. Finn, there it is. The end of Yorihime's route, officially. It's so weird how different every character's route officially ends. Because you get fucking Luna, and it ends off with her getting a cat. Karen's route ends off with with Yuta, Karen, and her kids, and their kids going to the Araragi Shrine lookout, the lookout near the shrine, and then finally, one of them ends up with actual marriage. You know, like the title of the game. It's about marriage. It's literally magical marriage lunatics. I don't know why no one else has gotten married yet. Even in Lunatics' route, they didn't get married at the end. At least in Karen's route, they got kids, which means you can assume that they got married unless they're bastard children. But let's not assume that. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, a subscribe would be appreciated. And if you want to support me even further, you could always head over to the Patreon. But yeah, my God, we will be starting Julie's route next. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. And if you want to support, wait, yeah, I've already said that. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye-bye.